Hello and good evening. Welcome to DJNTV. Tonight's show is the Record Roundup. My name is John from Boston, and I'm here with a panel of wonderful characters, fabulous DJs from around the globe. We'll go left to right in order with who I can see to let you know who's here. DJ Eric from New Hampshire. Hello. Karaoke Wizard. DJ Alex out in Cyprus is here with us. DJ Kevin in the house. Where are you from again, Kevin?
Marion, originally from Marion, Ohio. I'm 50 miles north of Columbus.
Ohio land.
Yeah.
Ohio.
I'm a nut.
Ohio. Cleveland rocks. Matthew's here with us from Points in Minnesota. Hey, very good. And Brian S. Red is here. Yeah. That road don't go there, eh?
Take off.
Yeah.
They're very nice people up there in the Twin Cities, except for Matt. He's kind of a jerk, but otherwise, really nice people up there.
So our segment is the Record Roundup, and we go a little round robin around the room, and we discuss some of our favorite records that either we're still playing or we think maybe have fallen through the cracks. Might be worth giving a listen if you're not familiar. Before we get started, I just want to say quickly that our show is brought to you by DJ Event Planner, one of our long-term sponsors here of the channel. Please check them out in the links below and make some purchases. Use our promo code, and we can help keep the show on the air. And we appreciate your support. I'm going to lead us in to give you something that I had pulled. I had just recently done a Twitch set, and I was kind of leaning heavy on the New Jack Swing, and I wanted to see if I still had this, and so I went digging for it, and I found it. Produced by Teddy Riley, I have Mr. Keith Sweat with I Want Her.
Nice.
I wanna.
Part 1 and Part 2, written, co-produced by Teddy Riley. The New Jack Swing. This is still on my playlist today. This is dated 1987, when this stuff was all kind of hitting. It's mid-tempo. That stuff usually all falls somewhere between 108 and 120, and it just has this kind of a skippy bounce to it. If you think of like Rhythm Nation, Janet Jackson, or it just kind of has that little hop. The group Guy was really popular for this.
Yes.
I-5 comes to mind. It's a good transition, because a lot of the stuff, if you're coming out of low R&B in the 90s, it's an easy way to make your way through that category. And there's a lot of hits, and it's a lot of stuff that really wants to get people moving. So if you're trying to wake up your dance floor, you can use something like productions from Babyface, Keith Sweat. This is just still a bumper, still a banging tune. And I think I had it at 87 when I was using my clicker to do BPM. So I'll have to check it officially to see if that's really where it lands. But
it doesn't matter to me. It's a cool song.
That's a great song. What a good song.
Still in play. Are you guys still playing that one too? Or at least once in a while?
I haven't, but I should. You reminded me of a song that I haven't played in a long time.
It's just a nice bouncy groove, and it just gets people, even if they're sitting in their chairs and they aren't ready to dance yet. You know, it's that and that Motown key that you can kind of wake people up with. But that's my pick. So Keith Sweat, I Want Her from 1987. Give that a listen if you're not familiar.
Very nice.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Got anything else on New Jack that you can think of for other artists that people should check out?
Oh, geez. There was Johnny Gill. That was a big one with Just Got Paid. No, that was Johnny Kemp.
Johnny Kemp.
Just Got Paid.
Just Got Paid. It's
he was kind of a one-hit wonder, but that was a fun one for a while.
He was LSG, right? It was like a Levert, somebody else, and Johnny Gill was that, and that's still kind of the New Jack stuff. Casanova. Right. It's got that same kind of bounce to it, right?
Yeah. Another weird one. I don't even know if it's New Jack. It almost seemed like it was New Jack Light, like if they did a New Jack song for Sesame Street, but it was huge for a while. And I think you could probably shoehorn it into New Jack, or at least it was played on the same radio stations that New Jack was played on. An interesting one to check out would be Callaway, I Want to Be Rich. That song was hitting so hard there.
Oh my God, I love that
at the
one.
time. Remember that tune?
That's still in my rotation as well.
Is it really?
It's in the crate. That's once in a while I will sneak that one in. That is it's a happy song. It's
I could think of two right away.
Love, peace, and happiness.
My prerogative.
Sure.
And I Want to Sex You Up. Those would be New Jack Swings, I think.
Was it Keith Sweat who did that remake of Just a Touch of Love? That's Keith Sweat, isn't it?
You got me on that.
I love that track. That's like,
yeah, a few from him. So it's
yeah, that's my favorite Q Sweat track. And I have played that one quite a bit in recent years. Because I think people just kind of forgot about it.
And we can't forget about Motown Philly. Come on.
Motown Philly, Boys to Men,
Boyz II
Philly,
Men.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, anything, if you ever watch like reruns of In Living Color, like
Oh, yeah,
Brothers, when that used to be on, every time there was a music segment, it was this type of stuff.
Yeah, it was
It
Fly
just had-
Girls
and all
yeah.
the dancers are out there doing, they're really like
Jennifer Lopez and fluorescent spandex dancing around New Jack. Yeah.
that was just
You had
every
me
boy.
at, you had me at Lopez and spandex. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah, to get that booty insured. Absolutely.
Motown Philly.
Yeah.
Motown Philly, yes it is.
That one is, God, I've played that one. I did a wedding, I think it was like maybe last year, and the bride really wanted to hear Motown Philly, and I had to play it multiple times. That was her jam, which I thought was kind of neat.
Pretty cool.
Mute your mic, Matthew. I hear your mom's TV in the background.
Sorry.
Mute
Yeah,
your
we
mic.
don't need any of our commercials leaking through because we're gonna.
Oh, hold on, a minute,
endorse-
hold on. I like that commercial.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. We'll push it over to Eric. And what do you have for us this week that you'd like to share with the nation?
I do like your pick, John, and I'm not gonna outdo your pick because that pick was great. But I do have a song that it's interesting to me because it was originally released on Motown Records in 1976. It was a single, and I believe it's a one-hit wonder. But however, in 76, when it was originally released, it only went to 97 in the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 charts. Then it got re-released in 1982. And at this time, it spent 20 weeks on the Hot 100, and it peaked at number 3.
Ooh.
So it was ahead of its time. They were ready for it in 76.
It stayed there for 3 weeks at number 3.
Okay.
But here's the interesting part. It reached 7 on the AC charts and number 60 on the Hot Country charts. And you're thinking, Eric, what are you talking about, right?
Commodore song?
How
Newton
could
John?
it do that? I'm talking about the Charlene, I've Never Been to Me.
Oh, yeah. I
Right?
remember
This
that.
is a forgotten song. And in 76, when it was released, it didn't go anywhere.
That's from 76?
1976 is when
I
I
had
remember that
no
on the Casey
idea.
Kasem countdown soon.
Sorry, what song was it again?
7.
Sylvia. I've
Charlene.
never been, or was it Charlene?
Charlene,
Never been to me?
Yeah, you're thinking of nobody.
Sylvia to nobody. Yeah.
Charlene.
I've been to Paradise, but I've never been to me. Yep.
Charlene, yeah.
She's been undressed by kings.
And
Yes,
seen some things that a woman
nuts.
ain't supposed to see.
right. That was
You know-
originally released in 76.
Wow.
97, forgotten about. And then I don't know why or how, but they made the right decision. They re-released it in 82.
Yeah.
Went on all these charts. And I
Good
thought
tune. I've never played
it
it,
was
but a
just
good tune.
amazing to read this. So I do a little research when I try to do these records.
We appreciate that. Yeah.
And I
Dropping the
thought it was
knowledge.
interesting to hit AC, Hot 100, Hot Country. All you know, right? To me, that's not really a country song.
Yeah.
It's why it only landed at 60 on the country charts. But
Well, it
he made it on the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuck on you. Lionel Richie was there.
Yeah. 82 country was weird. You had, like
Yeah. Back then it
Alabama
was.
and stuff that was pop. It was more, John Denver. And
And it's a great
nice
song.
song.
If you've never heard it, give it a listen. It's really a nice song. It's, it's not a banger. It's nothing that's going to pack your floor and get them going. Like,
It's an interesting song.
but yeah.
Do you know who Hugo Weaving is?
What's that?
Do you know who the guy Hugo Weaving?
Isn't that from The Matrix?
Yeah. Agent Smith is Hugo Weaving, the actor.
okay.
Mr. Anderson, that guy.
Hmm.
He was in a movie called Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, where he plays an Australian drag queen. And the whole movie, they're like, I don't know, for some reason they're traveling from one side of Australia to the other. They're doing these drag shows in these little towns. And they had this RV, but the opening scene of this movie is Hugo Weaving in drag, lip syncing that song.
Huh.
And I'd forgotten about that track until I watched that movie. And I was like, well, that's an interesting choice. But yeah.
Totally works.
My
Similar to
favorite
the
line
food-
from the movie is when he's going off to Ayers Rock, and one of them, drag queen, says, "Just what we need: another cock in a frock on a rock."
Similar to this track, looks like we've forgotten about it. It's just amazing what she did in the charts when they re-released it several years later. I thought that was interesting how it just kind of like
That is. I had no idea that song was from 76.
I didn't know it was that
it
old.
was
I remember
originally, yeah.
like when Casey was on in like the 81, 82, 83, I would get a sheet of paper and I would hand write out the chart every week with him. I had a stack of them about this thick. I would tune in religiously every weekend just to learn the songs, the artists, see how they're moving. I'd make my own predictions. Oh, this one's moving up the chart. I kind of had my own thing going on.
Okay, Eric.
I remember
Okay.
Sean.
You know what that song reminds me of?
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Another song that came out around the same time. They're nothing alike, but they came out around the same time.
Yeah,
Her name was Terry something or other. She was blind.
Terry Gibbs.
Terry Gibbs. Somebody's knocking.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yes. It reminds me of
I
that.
love
too.
that. But that was on country and
Yes.
Hot 100.
Yes, that was on country.
Yeah.
Well,
It
like
did both.
Stumbling In hit the country chart too, and that's not.
Oh, yes.
and
Suzy
that's Suzy
Quatro.
Quattro.
And that was just kind of the period, like with Linda Ronstadt crossover, adult
I
contemporary.
think a lot of them, like
Yeah.
Juice Newton, did country and AC.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
As did-
Eddie Rabbit did country and Hot 100, Driving My Life Away.
Yep.
A lot of them crossed over back then.
even Kim Carnes ended up on the country chart. I know she
Yeah,
did with
Kenny's
Keith Rogers.
good.
Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer.
Yep.
well, that
Yeah,
one there
having
because
Kenny
of
on with you
Kenny.
helps. Yeah. Kenny's going to record with you.
Yeah, if Kenny's good, yeah, and don't put, yeah, that's it. If you got Kenny, you're going on the country.
Well, you got to have Kenny, and you got to have Lionel Richie writing for Kenny, and that kind of helps him on the country chart. So you got to
Magic.
give it. It is. Look,
I don't believe Lionel wrote "Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer" though.
no, but he
He
wrote.
did write "Lady."
Yeah, he did. Right, Lady.
Yeah.
There's another one that he had for him too that they did. I was looking at doing some Kenny Rogers research. Long story.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just funny how back then you had crossover a lot more than today on the charts.
Yeah.
And Charlene hit 3-4 different charts when they re-released that. I just thought it was interesting.
That's very
Back in
interesting.
that day, you know?
Yeah, good pick. Good discussion too.
Very
Alex, we'd like to see what you brought with us for a record today for Roundup.
Well, I thought I'd do something a little bit different rather than concentrate on one record. A collection of classic house tunes. So I've got, if you're not quite sure, Tori Amos.
Wow.
Look at the Olympic
Professional
record.
Window.
Oh
Is
my
that Professional
God.
Window?
The Widow, sorry.
That's a great song if you guys don't know it.
Remix, which obviously some of you Americans should know. Armand Van Helden, I believe, is from Detroit. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know where he's from.
We're just restated so that people can hear it clearly. It's Tori Amos, Professional Widow,
Window.
Armin Helden remix.
And we're going to play that after the show, right?
After the
Brian?
show,
It's a cool tune.
I
It's
like
a really
to
cool tune.
And back in the old days, when we used to get promos, they used to come on records like this,
Yeah,
which is a white label. This one is just simply what I wrote on there, Revenge, which is Disco Revenge by Gusto.
Oh, wow.
There's another American DJ.
a lot of the house DJs in America couldn't make it big here, but they made it huge over there. Because there's a lot of them. Or duos.
And going back to the day,
Yeeky.
I don't know it.
you don't know this one?
No.
all right, we'll play on that after hours. I don't know Yiki
This is
Yiki.
Maury
Yiki,
Kante,
Yiki.
I think that's correctly pronounced. Yeke Yeke, which was an African song, which then got remixed. And it's actually been remixed several times. So this one came out in 1987. But since then, it's been re-released and remixed by Clubheads, which was a bigger track that came out in the sort of 90s, 96, 97. And there's also a Hard Floor remix as well. So it's it's a classic, not a classic house track, quite big in Ibiza
Nice.
in the Euro market.
I'm interested to hear it after the
You've
show.
made that artist very happy because suddenly they have 200 new listens this week out of the blue, and they don't know how else anyone found out about this obscure song. That's our job. That's why we do this. We bring this to the forefront.
Sounds more like Sounds more like, hello, I can't come in today. Get yeeky yeeky.
And my other one is, if you don't know it, please stop
Yes.
being gay.
Robin S. That is my all-time favorite thing.
I just bought that exact pressing of that record about 2 weeks ago.
And I was watching an interesting documentary that popped up on YouTube regarding that song. And Robin S. to this very day has not received a single penny. She gets no royalties from that track.
That's terrible.
Which
I
I
played that Saturday night too.
You know, you'd think she'd get something, but obviously, no performance or anything like that. I don't know why.
Read the contracts
but,
before you sign them, kids.
It was never deemed to be a big hit, and it just seems to be. I think it was picked up by certain groups of people, shall we say, that made it big. It was never. It's something that it was never something that was major big at the beginning. It's just something that snowballed, become a.
It was
big
huge
here.
in my
Huge.
club.
I'm still
Really?
playing it.
It was, yeah. It was big here. I remember hearing it on the radio all the time.
Huge.
On the hot FM station. The clubs played it, the straight clubs, the gay clubs. It never went away. I still throw it on once in a while.
I still play it. I
And,
just played it last
love,
week.
Love for Love is the other one. That's
Yes.
right there.
Okay, Keep on Walking is her song too, I think. Now, what year did that come out, Alex?
93, I think.
I was just
No, it was earlier than that. It had to have been earlier than that.
Is that a remix copy? Is that a different arrangement that
I think that's the original you have in your hand. What's the date say on it? Yeah, Show Me Love has got to be like 90, 91.
91, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
93.
You see that?
Yeah, the club mix though. So 92 on the record, right?
Stonebridge Club Mix, yeah.
So maybe it was a year before for the specific edit. and then-
92. Oh, that makes sense. 92, I guess. Yeah.
Debuted in 93.
All very good.
Oh, that says 92 on it.
Well, maybe it was. Obviously, that's a promo.
Maybe it
version.
debuted on the chart.
Released in 92, but went commercial in 93.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I think maybe it debuted on the charts in 93.
Yeah.
Good bunch. Good bunch of selections there. Keep those handy so we can listen to a few of those. We can have a little.
Say 93. 93 it was released. That's what I'm getting to. For Robin S. Show Me Love. I thought it might have been earlier too, but
well, his says 92 on it.
This is saying 93.
But then, is it Groove Jet? Came out way before Sophie Ellis Baxter put vocals to it, and it was a big Ibiza, banger as they call it.
Really?
But it took about 2 years for that to come out before they put Sophie's voice to it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
It was
that.
originally an instrumental.
She added a lot to it. I love her vocals on that.
I love the song.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the charts for 28 weeks and peaked at number 6. Or 5.
Are we still talking about
Super
Robin
excellent.
S?
That's Robin S. You're talking about, right? You
Talking
got
about
her
Show
up?
Me Love.
Show Me Love.
Yeah. We
Show Me
moved
Love, that
on.
is great.
Super cool. Super cool. Kevin, do you have a record you'd like to share with us this week?
I
Hot
do.
pick.
I will tell you a little bit about it leading up to it, and I will show you the album itself at the end. The album I'm picking is from back in 1968. It is a country. It was #1 in the country and also #1 in LPs. And the album I have that I'm going to discuss shortly about is Wichita Lineman by Glenn
Here we go.
Campbell.
Where's Jay when we need him?
Right.
Like, that's my favorite song ever.
Oh, really?
Makes me cry every time I play it. Yeah.
First song is Wichita Lineman, which is what the album was named after. Some of those songs on there are Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, which is originally by Otis Redding. Another song is If You Go Away, and Words, which is a Barry Gibb and Robin and Maurice Gibb song. Fate of Men, this is the finish on side 1. Dreams of the Everyday Housewife, which also charted for him, is on side 2, along with The Straight Life. Reason to Believe, You Better Sit Down Kids, which is by Sonny Bono, and normally the one you think of, I think, is sung by Cher. but a lot of these songs he did either the second version or the original. All these songs are very short. The old classic, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and that's enough. You don't have to quick mix with these. They're just so damn short.
Yeah.
Now, may I ask if Reason to Believe is the same one Rod Stewart did?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the facts about the Wichita Lineman, I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but the idea for the song was again written by Jimmy Webb. He stated, and this is from Wikipedia, that on BBC 4 that he got a song request from Glenn Campbell for a place or a geographical song to follow up his song that he wrote, By the Time I Get to Phoenix. And he got the inspiration from this when he was driving down the high plains of the Oklahoma Panhandle, past a line of telephone poles, and on top of one of them was a lineman with a handset in his hands working. So that is how the song was created. And now for the big reveal of the album. I don't play it very often because it's very hard for me to get the play on my player, but here is.
Oh my God. Yeah. That record's you're gonna get what about
skips and jumps off
2 seconds, and then you got some run-out groove there. You can jam.
You played that last track for a little longer.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's been cut in the shape of the state of Ohio. Which is weird. You would think that if they were going to put a record on the shape of Ohio, they would pick an Ohio artist, and he is not from Ohio. He's from Arkansas.
Oh, I had reason to believe
the record.
I had reason to believe you threw that against the wall.
Yes, it just shattered in that shape. It's just magic.
Yeah, just put a little clock motor in that and just hang that up somewhere, and
Yeah.
Actually, I have it hanging in on a wall.
Excellent.
And it's everything you need to know about Ohio right there.
Well, that's it. And Jimmy Webb is still alive, coincidentally. He just did an interview with Rick Beato. It's a channel a lot of us watch. He sits down at the piano with him, and he goes through how he constructed the song. So as a follow-up, if you guys want to watch a little bit of Rick.
Noise.
He can show how it's made. And he is a living legend, and he's composed more than Wichita Lineman. He's known for a few others, too. Yeah, great pick, Kevin. Like that one, too. And
Nice.
sorry you don't have a playable copy, but it still counts as 3/4 of a record.
Well, I just go to Spotify and listen to it.
Hey.
Of course. Yeah.
See what he did there? Yeah, I see what he did.
Yeah, a little callback action. Very, very nice.
As long as you got the earbuds in.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
He's paying attention. Due diligence over there. Matthew, what do you got for a song for us to pick this week?
Well, do you want me to go with oddball, curveball cover, or do you want me to stick to my Minneapolis roots?
You do whatever feels right.
You do you. So
Do
you see where we're all going here.
What do you want to turn people on to?
Okay, so I played this. I played this this past Saturday at my karaoke gig, and I had like probably about maybe 15, 16 people come up to me going, "Who the hell does this cover?" Right? Never heard this before. Who is this? And it is a cover of Royals. Lord Royals.
Song? Okay.
Yep. And it's a country version. It's by a group called the Beef Seeds.
Huh.
Have you ever heard of these guys?
No. Can't say I have.
Oh, you
That's
want me to play it for you?
You can play it after the show, just
After
because of
the show.
licensing. We can't do it while we're
Okay,
recording for YouTube.
got it.
Be interested in that. I do have a Royals remix from a rock band, but I have never heard of this countryfied version.
Yeah, this is like a hick.
It's like very twangy, very, very. This
Very
is country
twangy, very.
Now,
Yeah.
speaking of hick, people in Minnesota call karaoke karaoke. So for those of you who are like, did he just say karaoke? Yes,
Croaky.
he did.
He says
That's what they
croaky.
say in Minnesota.
I did. I go both ways.
Don't let that get around.
I always knew that about you.
I think It's because when you hear these singers, you just want to croak. So
Yeah.
croaky.
Karaoke.
I get it. Yeah.
Karaoke.
John Young says karaoke too. Yeah.
Does he really? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
It's a regional thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's a Minnesota.
It is
Yeah,
a
we-
Minnesota thing.
We use all the letters. We call it karaoke. We get all the parts.
Yeah.
Of it.
I say it how the Japanese say it because they invented it.
Karaoke.
What's their word?
It is their word.
Oh, karaoke.
And it means the sounds cats make as they're being murdered. That's the translation on that.
Empty orchestra.
That's
That-
very good. Well, we're going to give that a listen at the end of the show too, because
that's what karaoke is.
Empty orchestra.
empty orchestra, no singer,
Yep.
instrumental. In other words,
Correct.
Nice.
bring your own lyrics. All right, that brings us around to the ringleader, Brian. What have you been thinking about?
I wasn't even thinking about the Minneapolis artist thing. So I'm not trying to impress Matt here or anything. But I do have a cool album. I was looking at my records and thinking, have I talked about this record? Because it's really good. And I don't think a lot of people know it, but it's good. And let's see here. That would be Prince Emancipation.
Oh,
This is the record that came out when he finally sorted his crap out with Warner. And it's a 3-record set or 3 CD set. I've never opened this. This is kind of a cool thing that came out a few years ago. It's heavy, but it's chock full of cool stuff. There's a lot of different kinds of music on here that's really cool. And in fact, they're showing here, it's actually it's 6 records, but it was 3 CDs. And each one of the CDs anyway had good stuff on it. There's a lot of good songs in there. The only one that I think was released at all as a single was one called it was a remake of a stylistic song called Bet You By Golly Wow.
I love that. Yeah.
It's probably my least favorite song on the record.
No, but I love the stylistic song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that
a
like
really-
a store day promo type of thing? Like it's got the heavy gram vinyl or
Yeah. It's 180 gram vinyl. It's all that stuff. But I just really like the record, so I bought it. There's a really good song on there called I think it's called Back Here in My Arms. See, Jam of the Year. Yeah, Right Back Here in My Arms is a really good song. Let's see. Get Your Groove On is good. There's so much good stuff on here. He's got hip hop stuff on here. He's got dance stuff on here. There's one called Sleep Around that's really fun. It's a really good dance song. Great record.
now, was he carrying on with the Power Generation at that point, or was he a solo? Did he just drop everybody and move on?
It's on MPG Records. So the people who were playing on this, yes, they were New Power Generation. In fact, I saw this concert live at the United Center in Chicago. And he does something on here that's really interesting too, that I'd never heard him do before, and that is a cover. And he does a cover of Joan Osborne's "What If God Was One of Us." It's on this record.
Really?
So
Wow.
it's interesting. There's one called "Da Da Da" that I really like, and I totally shouldn't because it's a rap with that T.C. Eliot on it. It's really good stuff.
Da Da Da.
It's called "Da Da Da." Yeah, it's
Is that by Trio?
Oh, that's the old trio song.
maybe it's "Da Da Da Da." I don't know. But it's a good
Because
tune.
Trio did a Da Da Da.
Da Da Da. No, this
Right.
is very
That's
very
not the
different.
one, right?
And that's
Very
not Din Dada either. That's a different one. That's Krantz. That's another record.
Well, yeah, Din Dada is George Kranz. Yeah, German drum solo, well remembered. No, it's a cool record though. If you're into Prince or you're trying to go, if you're interested in Prince and you're trying to hear something beyond Kiss and Purple Rain and Raspberry Beret and Little Red Corvette, this is later in his career, but this to me was the pinnacle. This was the highlight for me of Prince's career, was the Emancipation album. Really enjoyed it.
Year approximate 93,
97.
Oh, well, later. Okay.
Yeah, 97.
What year did Prince pass away?
2016.
So why wasn't any of these released, do you think? Like,
Well,
why
this
do we
released-
know about some of these?
I bought this. I bought the CD. It was a triple
Like
CD.
on air, on radio. None of these ring a bell.
Well, Bet You By Golly Wow was a single.
Was
And
it?
I remember, yeah, and I remember he did Oprah, and he took her into the studio and was showing her some of the songs, and he did some performances on her show. And one of the performances he did, I remember, was that track "Sleep Around" I was telling you about. That it's actually really a fun dance song. It's a good album. It's, if you're interested in Prince at all, give it a listen. It's just another side of him that you may not know. One of my local friends has just kind of rediscovered Prince, and he's made a lot of posts about it lately. We haven't talked about this specific record, but I'd like to talk to him about it and turn him on to it because it's really good. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
that's sweet. That's sweet. I've never actually heard of that album, Brian. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 records, 6 CDs. That's a lot of material.
6 LPs. It was 3 CDs.
Right.
And,
Well,
and I have it over there somewhere. It's the 3 CD set. It was, when you got the boxy looking double CD sets with the extra thing in the middle.
Sure.
It's one of those. But
nice.
yeah, good material. And funny thing, at the beginning of this record, there's a song called "Sex in the Summer," and there's the sound of a heartbeat, like an ultrasound is what it is, with a groove behind it. And this is neither here nor there, but the sounds he's using to make that, there's a door opening and closing on Jam of the Year. That is a Fairlight CMI stock library sound. It's like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because Prince used the Fairlight CMI quite a bit through like the Love Sexy album. He had 3 of them, and they broke down on him, and he couldn't use them anymore. My ex-brother-in-law got a job at Paisley, went up there, and got, I think, at least one of them running, maybe 2. And that's why you hear that sound on this record, because he got that Fairlight running.
He got one of them working again.
Yeah, at least one of them. Yeah. And he became his drum tech. It's my ex-brother-in-law who I don't talk to. But yeah, I know the guy who's responsible for that happening. So
that's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway.
It's pretty awesome. And I'd like to congratulate you all great picks this week. We had a lot of interesting material, and we're going to have quite the after-class session. Of course, you can always join us. Come visit us in the late night. We are here at djntv.com/chill. Pay us a visit. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with some more records to round up. Good night.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose I have to stop this thing, huh?
Yeah,